Imagine for a moment that the life you live now is simply a shadow of the life you are destined for. You may feel an internal stirring, a gentle yet persistent nudge within you that cannot be ignored. This is no accident. God is moving, and the very circumstances of your life are being rearranged for a purpose beyond your current comprehension. Here are 5 unmistakable signs that you are being prepared for a blessing, a divine promise that awaits only your awareness and acceptance. There is a subtle yet unmistakable feeling that begins to stir within you when something profound is about to change. It's a restlessness that you can't quite explain, a sensation that the life you've been living no longer fits the person you're becoming. This inner discomfort is often the first sign that God is preparing you for something greater. It's not meant to cause anxiety or fear, but to awaken you to the reality that the current circumstances of your life are no longer aligned with your higher calling. At first, this restlessness may feel like dissatisfaction with the mundane details of life, your job, your relationships, your daily routine. Things that once brought you comfort now seem hollow, and the things that once excited you have lost their luster. This discomfort can be perplexing because, on the surface, nothing appears to be wrong. Yet deep inside, there's a nagging sense that you are meant for something more. This feeling is not random, nor is it a mistake. It's the universe nudging you out of your comfort zone, preparing you for the expansion that is about to occur in your life. You might try to ignore it at first. After all, change is often uncomfortable, and we tend to cling to what we know, even when it no longer serves us. But this inner stirring is persistent. It keeps resurfacing, urging you to pay attention, to look beyond the surface of your daily existence. This is because the restlessness you feel is not just dissatisfaction with your current life, it is your soul awakening to its next level of growth. It's the spiritual equivalent of growing pains, a signal that you are outgrowing your old self and stepping into a new phase of your journey. Many people mistake this discomfort for something negative. They might assume they are doing something wrong, or that life is unfairly testing them. But in truth, this is a sacred process. God is using this feeling of unease to push you toward a higher path. It is a call to expand, to grow, and to prepare yourself for the blessing that is already on its way. Without this restlessness, you might never feel the need to step into your potential. You might remain stagnant, comfortable but unfulfilled, never realizing that you were made for so much more. But as the restlessness grows, so too does the desire for change. You may begin to dream bigger dreams, to envision a life that feels more aligned with who you truly are. This is no accident. The discomfort is designed to break down the barriers of your limited thinking, to shatter the illusion that the life you are currently living is all there is. It compels you to search for deeper meaning, to ask yourself what it is you truly want, and to open yourself up to the possibility that something greater is waiting for you just beyond the horizon. This process may feel uncomfortable because it requires you to leave behind the familiar and venture into the unknown. But it is in the unknown that God works His greatest miracles. It is in this space of uncertainty, where you feel the most vulnerable, that the seeds of your blessing are being planted. The inner discomfort is not meant to punish you, but to prepare you. It's a sign that your old life is falling away to make room for something new, something that is more aligned with your soul's purpose. So embrace this restlessness. Let it guide you, not as a force of anxiety, but as a beacon of transformation. Understand that it is through this discomfort that you are being shaped and refined for the blessings that are already unfolding in your life. You are not lost, you are being prepared. You are not abandoned, you are being positioned for something greater. The restlessness is not an end, but a beginning, a divine sign that you are on the verge of something extraordinary. There comes a moment in life when the things that once brought you comfort or security suddenly begin to slip away. Doors that were once wide open, offering you opportunities and connections, now seem to close with little warning. Paths that once seemed clear and certain become obscure or blocked. This can be a deeply unsettling experience, but it is often one of the clearest signs that God is preparing you for a blessing far beyond what you have imagined. When old paths close, it may feel like loss at first. You might find yourself questioning why things that used to work so well no longer serve you. Relationships may begin to fade or change, and situations that felt stable start to crumble. You could lose a job, an opportunity, or a friendship that once felt essential to your life. It can be tempting to view these closures as setbacks or as evidence that something has gone wrong. Yet in truth, they are not random acts of misfortune, but deliberate steps in the unfolding of your greater purpose. The closing of old paths is a divine signal that you are being guided towards something new. God never removes something from your life without preparing you for something greater to take its place. These closures are not meant to diminish you, but to clear the space for new opportunities to emerge. Often we cling to the familiar because it feels safe, even when it no longer aligns with the higher vision that is destined for us. It is through the closing of these old doors that we are nudged toward growth and transformation. What you must understand is that these closures are not rejections, but redirections. When certain paths are no longer accessible, it is because they have served their purpose. They brought you to where you are now, but they cannot take you any further. Now, just as a plant outgrows its pot and must be transplanted into a larger space to continue growing, so too must you move beyond the confines of your current situation in order to step into the next phase of your journey. As painful as these moments may seem, they are actually acts of grace. The universe is removing what no longer serves you to make room for the blessing that is already prepared for you. If the old paths remained open, you might be tempted to stay where you are, never realizing that something far better is waiting for you. The discomfort of losing the familiar is a necessary part of stepping into the unknown, where your greatest growth and fulfillment lie. Trust that these closures are happening for your highest good. The relationships that end, the opportunities that disappear, and the paths that fade from your view are all part of the process of clearing space for what is to come. It is through this clearing that the new can take root. It is only when the old paths close that you are forced to open your mind and heart to the possibility of new directions that align more closely with the person you are becoming. This process requires faith. Faith that what is falling away is not being taken from you, but being released to make room for something more. Faith that you are not being abandoned, but rather being prepared for a new season of growth, success, and fulfillment. As long as you hold on too tightly to what has been, you cannot receive what is yet to be. So when old paths close, do not despair. Recognize that this is part of your spiritual evolution. It is the universe's way of guiding you toward your next chapter, your next blessing. Embrace the unknown, for it is there that you will find the unfolding of your divine destiny. Trust that every closure is a necessary step toward the greater purpose that awaits you, and know that God is with you, guiding your every step toward the blessing that is already on its way. There comes a time in your journey when the external world seems to fade into the background, and the noise of everyday life becomes less influential than the quiet whisper within. This shift is a powerful indication that God is preparing you for a significant blessing, and one of the most profound signs of this preparation is the heightened sensitivity to your inner voice. This inner voice is not just a fleeting thought or feeling, but a deep, intuitive knowing that begins to guide your decisions and shape your perceptions of reality. As you become more attuned to this inner voice, you realize that it has always been there, quietly nudging you in the direction of your highest good. Yet in the past, it may have been drowned out by the opinions and expectations of others, or by the distractions of daily life. But now, as your spiritual awareness deepens, this inner voice becomes clearer and more distinct. It's as if a veil has been lifted, and you can hear the guidance of the divine with greater clarity than ever before. This heightened sensitivity is not just a mental shift, it is a shift in consciousness. You begin to trust this voice more than what your eyes can see or what others tell you. External circumstances, which may seem chaotic or uncertain, no longer dictate your sense of direction. Instead, you are guided by an internal compass that leads you toward a future that has not yet materialized in the physical world, but feels absolutely real within your soul. This inner voice becomes your primary guide, your source of wisdom, and the anchor of your faith. At times, this voice may lead you to make decisions that seem illogical to others or even to your own rational mind. It might prompt you to walk away from a job, a relationship, or a situation that on the surface seems stable and secure. Yet deep within, you know that these choices are aligned with a greater plan, one that you can sense, even if you cannot yet fully see it. This inner knowing is a form of divine communication, a way for God to steer you toward your blessing, even when the path seems uncertain. As your sensitivity to this inner voice grows, so too does your ability to distinguish it from fear, doubt, or ego-driven desires. This voice is calm, gentle, and unwavering. It speaks with a quiet confidence, offering guidance that is rooted in love, not fear. When you follow it, you feel a deep sense of peace, even if the direction it leads you in is unknown or challenging. It does not force or push, but it invites you to trust, to let go of control, and to surrender to the flow of divine timing. This inner voice also sharpens your intuition, allowing you to sense things before they happen. You might find yourself feeling drawn to certain people, places, or opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere, as if by divine orchestration. This is no coincidence. As you become more sensitive to your inner voice, you also become more attuned to the subtle ways in which the universe aligns circumstances to bring you closer to your blessing. Serendipity and synchronicity become more common in your life, and you begin to recognize that these moments are not random, they are the direct result of following your inner guidance. The more you listen to this voice, the more your faith is strengthened. You no longer need external validation or proof that you are on the right path, because your inner knowing is all the confirmation you need. You trust that the blessing is already yours, even if it has not yet fully manifested in the physical realm. This trust allows you to move through life with a sense of calm assurance, knowing that you are being divinely guided every step of the way. This heightened sensitivity to your inner voice is a gift, a sacred tool that prepares you for the blessing that is coming. It aligns your consciousness with the divine plan, allowing you to navigate challenges with grace and confidence. As you continue to listen to and trust this voice, you will find that it leads you not only to the blessings you seek, but also to a deeper connection with your true self and with the divine source of all blessings. It is through this inner voice that you will find your way, even in the midst of uncertainty, to the fulfillment of your greatest desires. Challenges and trials are often perceived as barriers, obstacles standing in the way of our dreams and desires. However, when viewed through a spiritual lens, these difficulties are not hindrances, but essential stepping stones to something greater. They are part of the divine preparation process, ensuring that you are ready to receive the blessings that are destined for you. While it's easy to see trials as punishment or misfortune, they are in fact opportunities for growth and transformation, God's way of strengthening you for what lies ahead. When you encounter a challenge, it often feels like a detour from the path toward your goals. Plans may fall apart, unexpected setbacks arise, or you may find yourself facing difficulties you never anticipated. Yet it is in these moments of uncertainty and struggle that the greatest growth occurs. These trials are not meant to break you, but to build your character, refine your faith, and deepen your trust in the process. Each challenge you face serves a purpose in shaping you into the metaphor of a sculptor chiseling away to handle the blessings that are coming your way. From the outside, the process may appear harsh and destructive, with large chunks being chipped away. But from the sculptor's perspective, each strike of the hammer is intentional, revealing the masterpiece hidden within the stone. In the same way, the challenges you face are not random or meaningless. They are the divine tools that shape you, removing what no longer serves you and revealing the strength, wisdom, and resilience within. Trials often come to test your faith, but they also serve to strengthen it. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to trust in the process and believe that all is well. But it is in the moments of difficulty, when the outcome is uncertain and the path ahead is unclear, that your faith is truly tested. These are the times when you are called to believe in the unseen, to trust that there is a greater plan at work, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It is through these challenges that your faith becomes more than just a concept. It becomes a living, breathing force that sustains you through the darkest times. These trials prepare you not only spiritually but also practically. The challenges you face often teach you skills, patience, and perspectives that you wouldn't have gained otherwise. They refine your abilities, stretch your limits, and force you to think in new ways. What once seemed impossible becomes possible, because the trials have equipped you with the tools and resilience necessary to overcome future obstacles. You emerge from each challenge stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling the blessings that are waiting for you. It's important to recognize that these trials are temporary. They are not permanent roadblocks, but rather transitional phases meant to guide you toward your blessing. Often, when you look back on the challenges you faced, you can see how they were perfectly timed and necessary for your growth. What may have felt like a setback in the moment was actually a setup for something greater, a lesson you needed to learn or a strength you needed to develop in order to fully embrace the blessing that was on its way. Another crucial aspect of trials is that they foster a deeper sense of gratitude. When you've walked through hardship and come out on the other side, you appreciate the blessings in a way that you wouldn't have if everything had come easily. The struggle enhances your appreciation for the success. The journey through difficulty makes the reward all the more meaningful, and you come to understand that the trials were not detours but necessary steps on the path to your blessing. And challenges and trials are divine stepping stones that lead you closer to your highest potential. They are not obstacles meant to block your path, but opportunities to rise to a new level of spiritual and personal growth. By embracing these trials and trusting the process, you allow yourself to be prepared for the blessings that are already destined for you. The struggle is not in vain, it is the very thing that will propel you toward your greatest breakthroughs. Challenges and trials are often perceived as barriers, obstacles standing in the way of our dreams and desires. However, when viewed through a spiritual lens, when you encounter a challenge, it often feels like a essential stepping stones to something greater. Plans may fall apart, part of the divine preparation setbacks arise, ensuring that you are ready to receive the blessings that are destined never anticipated. While it's easy to see trials in these moments of uncertainty and struggle, they are in fact that the greatest opportunities for growth and transformation. These trials are not meant to break you, but to build your character, refine your faith, and deepen your trust in the process. Each challenge you face serves a purpose in shaping you into the person you need to become in order to handle the blessings that are coming your way. Consider the metaphor of a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. From the outside, the process may appear harsh and destructive, with large chunks being chipped away. But from the sculptor's perspective, each strike of the hammer is intentional, revealing the masterpiece hidden within the stone. In the same way, the challenges you face are not random or meaningless. They are the divine tools that shape you, removing what no longer serves you and revealing the strength, wisdom, and resilience within. Trials often come to test your faith, but they also serve to strengthen it. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to trust in the process and believe that all is well. But it is in the moments of difficulty, when the outcome is uncertain and the path ahead is unclear, that your faith is truly tested. These are the times when you are called to believe in the unseen, to trust that there is a greater plan at work, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It is through these challenges that your faith becomes more than just a concept. It becomes a living, breathing force that sustains you through the darkest times. These trials prepare you not only spiritually, but also practically. The challenges you face often teach you skills, patience, and perspectives that you wouldn't have gained otherwise. They refine your abilities, stretch your limits, and force you to think in new ways. What once seemed impossible becomes possible, because the trials have equipped you with the tools and resilience necessary to overcome future obstacles. You emerge from each challenge stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling the blessings that are waiting for you. It's important to recognize that these trials are temporary. They are not permanent roadblocks, but rather transitional phases meant to guide you toward your blessing. Often, when you look back on the challenges you faced, you can see how they were perfectly timed and necessary for your growth. What may have felt like a setback in the moment was actually a setup for something greater, a lesson you needed to learn, or a strength you needed to develop in order to fully embrace the blessing that was on its way. Another crucial aspect of trials is that they foster a deeper sense of gratitude. When you've walked through hardship and come out on the other side, You appreciate the blessings in a way challenges and trials are divine stepping stones that lead you closer to your highest potential. The struggle enhances your appreciation. They are not obstacles meant to block your path. The journey through difficulty makes the reward all the more meaningful level of spiritual and you come to understand that the trials were not by embracing these trials and trusting the process to your blessing. You allow yourself to be prepared for the blessings that are already destined for you. The struggle is not in vain. It is the very thing that will propel you toward your greatest breakthroughs. There is a mysterious force at work in our lives, an invisible hand guiding us toward our highest good even when we are unaware of it. This unseen support and the serendipity that often accompanies it are clear signs that God is orchestrating the circumstances of your life in ways you may not fully understand. When you are being prepared for a blessing, you begin to encounter people who offer you unexpected insignificant events, aligning in ways that seem to arrive out of mere coincidence. Perhaps you bump into an old friend. These moments are not random; they are divine intervention or a door opens that you didn't even know existed, offering you exactly what you need at precisely the right time. These instances of serendipity are not chance; they are evidence of the universe moving behind the scenes, aligning the details of your life to bring you closer to your blessing. God works in mysterious ways, often using these moments to nudge you in the right direction, confirming that you are on the path towards something greater. This unseen support may come in the form of resources, ideas, or connections that seem to appear just when you need them. You might find yourself in the right place at the right time, or stumble upon information that answers a question you've been struggling with for weeks. These moments of alignment are like breadcrumbs leading you toward the fulfillment of your desires. They reassure you that, even in the moments when you feel lost or uncertain, you are not alone. There is a divine intelligence at work, ensuring that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. One of the most powerful aspects of this unseen support is that it often arrives when you least expect it. In moments of doubt or frustration, when you feel like giving up, a solution or opportunity can suddenly emerge that changes everything. It may feel as though the universe is conspiring in your favor, rearranging events to clear the way for your blessing to manifest. These moments remind you that there is a higher power guiding your steps, even when you cannot see the full picture. You are being supported in ways that transcend your human understanding. Serendipity often works in tandem with your intuition. It's important to recognize that this support is always there. You may find yourself even if it's not immediately obvious. Places or sometimes it operates in the background, perfectly aligned moving with your things into place before you even realize. You might not understand why you feel compelled to take a particular action or follow a certain path. But later, that doesn't mean they're not into place. You realize that those intuitive many of the most significant moments of growth and transformation occur. This is how unseen support operates. It works even when we can't see the full plan, leading you toward your blessing. Faith in the unseen even when the powerful seems unclear, and it allows you to stay open to the unexpected ways that support and guidance can show up in your life. This unseen support also teaches you patience and trust. When you know that things are being arranged on your behalf, you are less likely to force or rush the process. You learn to surrender to divine timing, understanding that everything is unfolding according to a plan far greater than your own. So, the moments of serendipity that appear in your life serve as reminders that you are being taken care of, even in the waiting. You are being guided and supported, and your blessing is on its way, arriving in perfect alignment with the divine plan. Unseen support and serendipity are gifts from the universe, showing you that you are not walking this path alone. These moments reveal that there is a greater force working on your behalf, arranging the details of your life in ways that lead you toward your highest good. By trusting in this support and embracing the serendipitous events that occur along the way, you open yourself up to receiving the blessings that are already being prepared for you. The journey may be full of uncertainty, but the unseen hand of the divine is always guiding you, ensuring that you arrive exactly where you are meant to be. At a certain point in your journey, there comes a shift, one so profound. This shift often changes the way you perceive everything around you. You start to notice subtle differences. This shift in consciousness is not just a change in your thoughts or beliefs around you, but a transformation in your very awareness, with frustration or a deepening of your connection to the divine, and a realignment of your inner world. You begin to see that the events of your life, both good and bad, are not random blessing that requires you to see beyond the surface of reality and engage with the spiritual truths that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state, unnoticed, and you start to take responsibility for your thoughts and emotions, realizing their power to shape your reality. In this journey of preparation for your blessing, every step, whether it comes through discomfort, closed paths, heightened intuition, challenges, unseen support, or a shift in consciousness, is an essential part of the divine process. Each moment, every trial, and all serendipitous encounters are leading you closer to the fulfillment of your highest potential. As you learn to embrace the guidance from within, trust the timing of the universe, and allow yourself to be shaped by your experiences, you become aligned with the blessings that are already prepared for you. Remember, everything in your life is working in harmony to bring about the manifestation of your desires. Trust in the unseen forces guiding you, and know that each moment is purposeful, leading you toward a future more beautiful than you can imagine. Your faith, patience, and openness will allow the divine to work through you, preparing you for the abundant blessings that are already yours. Thank you for allowing these insights to resonate within you. May you walk confidently on your path, trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect alignment with the divine plan. My friends, you hold within you the power to shape your reality, to bend the world around your desires. But the path to manifesting this power does not lie in more effort, more struggle, or more toil. No, it lies in what you are willing to release. There are 14 things that you must stop doing for yourself, for only then will you unlock the full measure of your creative power. The power of assumptions is a fundamental principle that governs our lives in profound ways. Every experience, every encounter, and every moment we navigate is influenced by the beliefs and assumptions we hold about ourselves and the world around us. These assumptions act as lenses through which we interpret reality, shaping our perceptions and guiding our actions. Understanding and harnessing this power can transform our lives and enable us to create the reality we truly desire. At the core of this concept is the understanding that our assumptions create our reality. When we assume something to be true, we align ourselves with that belief, allowing it to dictate our experiences. For example, if you assume that success is out of reach, you will unconsciously create barriers to achievement, reinforcing the very belief that holds you back. On the other hand, if you adopt the assumption that success is not only possible but also inevitable, you open yourself to opportunities, experiences, and connections that align with that belief. The key to harnessing the power of assumptions lies in recognizing their malleability. Our beliefs are not fixed, they can be reshaped and redefined at any moment. This means that you have the ability to change your life simply by changing what you assume to be true. If you find yourself consistently encountering obstacles, take a step back and evaluate your assumptions. Are you holding on to beliefs that no longer serve you? Are you allowing negative experiences from the past to shape your current reality? By consciously choosing to adopt new, empowering assumptions, you can rewrite the narrative of your life. Critical aspect of the power of assumptions is the role of imagination. Our imagination is not merely a tool for fanciful thinking, it is a creative force that shapes our reality. When we visualize our desires and embody the feelings associated with achieving them, we align ourselves with the frequency of those desires. This is not a whimsical exercise, it is a deliberate practice that sends powerful signals to the universe about what we are ready to receive. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, we manifest our desires into tangible experiences. The journey of reshaping our assumptions is not without challenges. Old patterns of thought can be deeply ingrained, and it can be easy to slip back into limiting beliefs, especially in the face of adversity. This is where self-awareness becomes essential. By cultivating an awareness of your thoughts and assumptions, you can catch yourself in moments of doubt and negativity. Instead of succumbing to those limiting beliefs, you can consciously replace them with affirmations of your worth, capability, and potential. This practice takes time and dedication, but the results are transformative. The power of assumptions extends beyond personal success. It influences our relationships and interactions with others. When we assume the best in others, believing in their potential and goodness, we create a more positive environment that fosters growth and connection. Conversely, negative assumptions can lead to misunderstandings and conflict. By choosing to view others through a lens of compassion and understanding, we can improve our relationships and create a more harmonious existence. The power of assumptions is a remarkable force that shapes our reality in every aspect of our lives. By recognizing that our beliefs can be altered and choosing empowering assumptions, we can open ourselves to limitless possibilities. The imagination serves as a creative tool, helping us visualize and embody our desires, while self-awareness helps us navigate the challenges of ingrained patterns of thought. Ultimately, the reality we experience is a reflection of the assumptions we hold, and by mastering this power, we can create a life filled with abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Releasing the burden of effort is a profound shift in mindset that can radically transform how we approach our goals and desires. In a world that often equates hard work with success, many individuals believe that relentless striving is the only path to achievement. However, this belief can create a cycle of frustration, fatigue, and disillusionment. The truth is that we do not need to struggle against our circumstances. We can instead align ourselves with the natural flow of our desires and allow them to manifest effortlessly. At the heart of this idea is the understanding that creation is not a matter of sheer willpower or relentless action, but rather a function of our beliefs and the energy we embody. When we adopt the mindset that we must work hard to achieve our goals, we inadvertently place ourselves in a state of resistance. This resistance creates a mental barrier that makes it difficult to access the creative power within us. The more we struggle, the more we reinforce the belief that our desires are distant or unattainable, leading to a sense of separation from what we want. To release this burden, we must shift our focus from effort to alignment. This involves cultivating a deep sense of trust in ourselves and the universe. Instead of fixating on how hard we must work to achieve our dreams, we can ask ourselves, what does it feel like to already have what I desire? By embodying the feelings associated with our wishes fulfilled, we begin to resonate with the energy of our desires. This resonance attracts experiences, opportunities, and resources that align with our intentions. Visualization and meditation can be powerful tools in this process. When we take the time to visualize our goals, we allow ourselves to experience the emotions and sensations of having already achieved them. This practice not only reinforces our beliefs, but also opens the door for inspired action. Rather than forcing ourselves to take action out of obligation or desperation, we begin to act from a place of inspiration and joy. This shift in approach allows our actions to flow naturally and effortlessly, as they are born from a state of alignment with our true desires. It's crucial to recognize that the universe operates in harmony with our intentions. When we release the burden of effort, we create space for the universe to work on our behalf. This does not mean we become passive or inactive, rather, we become receptive. By maintaining an open heart and mind, we allow opportunities to present themselves in ways we might not have anticipated. Often, the most significant breakthroughs occur when we least expect them, illustrating that the universe is always conspiring in our favor. This journey requires practice and patience. It's easy to revert to old habits of striving and struggling, especially when faced with challenges. However, by continually reminding ourselves of the power of alignment and trust, we can create a new norm. We can begin to view obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Each challenge is an invitation to release more of our attachment to effort and to deepen our connection with the flow of life. The release of effort can lead to greater well-being and fulfillment. When we stop tying our self-worth to our productivity or the outcomes of our efforts, we liberate ourselves from the anxiety and stress that often accompany this mindset. Embracing a more effortless approach allows us to enjoy the journey rather than fixate solely on the destination. Life becomes a vibrant exploration rather than a relentless race. Releasing the burden of effort is about embracing a mindset of alignment, trust, and receptivity. It invites us to shift our focus from striving to allowing, from struggle to flow. By embodying the feelings of our desires, remaining open to inspiration, and recognizing the universe's inherent support, we create a life filled with joy, abundance, and ease. This transformation ultimately leads to a deeper understanding of our true creative power and the realization that we are co-creators of our reality, capable of manifesting our dreams effortlessly. Stopping the habit of living in the past is one of the most liberating and transformative choices we can make. Our past experiences, whether they are successes or failures, often dictate our present thoughts, emotions, and actions. Many people find themselves trapped in a cycle of reminiscing about what once was, allowing past events to shape their self-image and limit their potential. However, by choosing to release the grip of the past, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities and create a future that aligns with our true desires. The first step in this journey is recognizing that the past is merely a collection of memories and interpretations that exist within our minds. It is important to understand that these memories do not hold inherent power over us unless we grant them that power. When we continuously replay past events in our minds, we often do so through a lens of regret, pain, or nostalgia. This habitual reflection can create a sense of inertia, preventing us from moving forward. By understanding that the past is not a definitive representation of who we are, we can begin to detach from it and reclaim our sense of agency. The act of living in the past often manifests in various ways: fear of failure, self-doubt, and reluctance to take risks. For instance, if someone has experienced failure in their career or personal life, they may subconsciously carry that failure into new endeavors, believing they are destined to repeat it. This mindset creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the fear of past outcomes becomes a barrier to new experiences. To break this cycle, we must consciously choose to focus on the present moment, recognizing that each day presents a fresh opportunity for growth and transformation. Mindfulness practices can be instrumental in helping us remain anchored in the present. By cultivating awareness of our thoughts and feelings, we can observe when we start to drift back into the past. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or journaling can provide clarity and allow us to process any lingering emotions tied to past experiences. Through these practices, we can gently redirect our focus to the present moment, where our power truly resides. Another vital aspect of letting go of the past is embracing forgiveness. This applies not only to others but also to ourselves. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or regret can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds, hindering our ability to move forward. Forgiveness does not mean condoning past actions, rather, it is an act of self-liberation. By releasing these burdens, we create space for healing and allow ourselves to step into a brighter future. It is an acknowledgement that the past does not define us, and that we are free to write a new narrative. Shifting our focus to the present also means actively engaging with life as it unfolds. This requires a commitment to be fully present in our experiences, whether they are mundane or extraordinary. Engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment helps to anchor us in the now. By pursuing our passions and interests, we can create a sense of purpose that propels us forward, rather than being tethered to the weight of our past. Stopping the habit of living in the past is an act of empowerment. It is a conscious choice to reclaim our lives and redirect our energy toward creating a future that aligns with our dreams and desires. The past may inform us, but it does not have to define us. Every moment is an opportunity to start anew, to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead, and to become the architects of our reality. By letting go of what has been, we can fully embrace what is and what can be, transforming our lives in ways we may have once thought impossible. In doing so, we cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and our potential, allowing us to live authentically and wholeheartedly in the present. Letting go of the need for approval is one of the most empowering decisions we can make for our personal growth and self-acceptance. Many individuals find themselves trapped in a cycle of seeking validation from others, often allowing their self-worth to hinge on external opinions. This relentless pursuit of approval can lead to a myriad of negative emotions, including anxiety, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. By learning to release this need, we not only free ourselves from these burdens, but also cultivate a more authentic and fulfilling life. The desire for approval often stems from early life experiences and societal conditioning. From a young age, we are taught to seek validation from parents, teachers, and peers. While receiving praise can feel rewarding, it can also create a dependency on others' opinions for our self-esteem. As we grow older, this need for approval can manifest in various areas of life: career choices, relationships, and even our personal beliefs. When we prioritize others' opinions over our own, we risk losing touch with our true selves and the passions that genuinely inspire us. Recognizing the patterns of seeking approval is the first step in breaking free from this cycle. We must become aware of the moments when we seek validation or change our behavior to please others. This awareness allows us to reflect on the motivations behind our actions. Are we pursuing a particular career because it aligns with our passions, or are we doing it to gain respect from others? By examining our intentions, we can begin to distinguish between what we truly want and what we think we should want based on external pressures. Embracing self-acceptance is a vital aspect of letting go of the need for approval. This involves acknowledging and honoring our authentic selves, including our quirks, flaws, and unique perspectives. Self-acceptance is not about being perfect, it is about embracing who we are, warts and all. When we cultivate this acceptance, we become less dependent on others' opinions to define our worth. Instead, we learn to trust ourselves and our choices, which fosters a sense of confidence that is unshakable by outside influences. Another powerful practice is setting boundaries. This means learning to say no to situations or people that drain our energy or require us to compromise our values for the sake of approval. By establishing clear boundaries, we protect our time, energy, and mental well-being. This can be challenging, especially if we have conditioned ourselves to please others. However, with practice we can develop the strength to prioritize our needs and desires over the expectations of others. Engaging in self-reflection and journaling can also aid in this process. Writing down our thoughts, feelings, and experiences allows us to process our emotions and identify patterns related to seeking approval. It helps us clarify our values and what truly matters to us. By reflecting on our experiences, we can recognize moments when we felt fulfilled and happy, independent of others' opinions. This awareness reinforces the notion that our worth is inherent and not contingent on external validation. Surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals who celebrate our authenticity can significantly impact our journey. When we cultivate relationships with people who appreciate us for who we are, we create a nurturing environment that fosters self-acceptance. These connections remind us that we do not need to conform to others' expectations to be valued or loved. Letting go of the need for approval is a transformative process that leads to greater self-acceptance, confidence, and authenticity. By recognizing the patterns of seeking validation, embracing our true selves, setting boundaries, and surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals, we can break free from the shackles of external judgment. This journey may require courage and introspection, but the rewards are immeasurable. Ultimately, when we release the need for approval, we empower ourselves to live a life that is true to our values, desires, and aspirations, leading to a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. Abandoning fear and doubt is an essential step toward unlocking our true potential and living a fulfilling life. Fear and doubt are powerful emotions that can hold us back from pursuing our dreams, embracing opportunities, and stepping into our greatness. These feelings often stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, and our inherent desire for safety and security. However, when we allow fear and doubt to dictate our actions, we become prisoners of our own minds, limiting our capacity for growth and happiness. Fear typically arises from the anticipation of negative outcomes or the unknown. It can manifest in various forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or fear of change. While fear is a natural human response designed to protect us, it can also paralyze us if we allow it to dominate our thoughts. Similarly, doubt creeps in as a whisper, questioning our abilities, choices, and worthiness. It convinces us that we are not enough or that our dreams are unattainable. Together, fear and doubt create a toxic environment that stifles creativity and inhibits action. To abandon fear and doubt, we must first acknowledge their presence in our lives. This requires a level of self-awareness where we can observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we identify moments when fear and doubt arise, we gain the opportunity to challenge these beliefs. Instead of allowing them to take control, we can ask ourselves whether these fears are based on reality or are merely projections of our anxieties. Often we find that the worst-case scenarios we imagine are far from the truth. Another crucial aspect of overcoming fear and doubt is reframing our perspective on failure. Many of us view failure as a negative outcome to be avoided at all costs. However, failure is an integral part of the learning process. Each setback offers valuable lessons and insights that can propel us forward. By changing our relationship with failure, we begin to see it as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. This shift allows us to approach challenges with curiosity rather than trepidation, empowering us to take risks and embrace new experiences. Visualization is a powerful tool in this journey. By vividly imagining ourselves achieving our goals and overcoming obstacles, we create a mental blueprint for success. This practice can help reduce anxiety and build confidence. When we visualize positive outcomes, we train our minds to expect success rather than failure. As we engage in this process, we can also evoke the feelings associated with our success, reinforcing our belief that we are capable of achieving our dreams. Surrounding ourselves with supportive and encouraging individuals is another vital strategy for abandoning fear and doubt. The company we keep significantly influences our mindset. Engaging with people who uplift us, challenge us, and believe in our potential can create a positive environment that fosters growth. These relationships serve as reminders that we are not alone in our struggles and that others have faced similar fears and doubts yet still succeeded. Practicing self-compassion can aid in overcoming fear and doubt. Instead of harshly criticizing ourselves for feeling afraid or overcoming fear and doubt. Instead of harshly criticizing ourselves for feeling afraid or uncertain, we can treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Acknowledging that fear and doubt are part of the human experience allows us to embrace these feelings without letting them dictate our actions. When we practice self-compassion, we create a nurturing inner dialogue that encourages us to take risks despite our fears. Abandoning fear and doubt is a transformative process that opens the door to endless possibilities. By acknowledging these emotions, reframing our perspective on failure, visualizing success, surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals, and practicing self-compassion, we can break free from the limitations they impose. This journey requires courage and dedication, but the rewards are immense. When we let go of fear and doubt, we empower ourselves to pursue our dreams, embrace new opportunities, and live a life that is rich with authenticity and fulfillment. Ultimately, this journey leads us to a deeper understanding of our true potential and the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. One of the main reasons people wait for conditions to change is the belief that external factors dictate their happiness and success. This belief often stems from societal conditioning, where we are taught to seek validation and approval from our environment. We might tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when I find a better job," or "I'll start my fitness journey when my schedule is less hectic." This line of thinking creates a barrier that prevents us from taking proactive steps toward our goals. However, the truth is that waiting for perfect conditions often leads to a cycle of inaction, where we continuously postpone our dreams and desires. Recognizing that the power to change our circumstances lies within us is crucial. We must shift our perspective from external dependencies to internal empowerment. This begins with understanding that we have the ability to create our reality through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. That when we take responsibility for our lives, we realize that we can make meaningful changes regardless of our current situation. This mindset shift can be liberating. It places the power to shape our lives squarely in our hands. Taking action, even in small ways, is essential to breaking free from the cycle of waiting. Many people believe they must take significant leaps to create change, but even small steps can lead to profound transformations. For instance, if someone is unhappy in their job, they might begin by updating their resume or networking with others in their field. These small actions can create momentum and open doors to new opportunities. By focusing on what we can do now, rather than waiting for perfect conditions, we can initiate change and move closer to our goals. Another important aspect of this mindset shift is cultivating resilience. Life is inherently unpredictable, and waiting for the ideal circumstances can lead to disappointment and frustration. Instead of hoping for a perfect environment, we can develop the ability to adapt and thrive in various situations. Resilience enables us to face challenges head-on and view setbacks as opportunities for growth. By embracing the idea that conditions may never be perfect, we empower ourselves to act regardless of our circumstances. The practice of gratitude can significantly impact our ability to stop waiting for conditions to change. When we focus on what we are grateful for in our current situation, we cultivate a sense of contentment that frees us from the longing for external validation. This shift in focus allows us to appreciate the present moment and recognize the opportunities that already exist. Gratitude can be a powerful motivator, encouraging us to take action rather than remain passive. Surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals is also vital in this process. Engaging with people who inspire and encourage us can reinforce our commitment to taking action. These relationships provide motivation and accountability, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. When we share our aspirations with others, we create a sense of community that propels us forward. See, stopping the habit of waiting for conditions to change is a transformative decision that empowers us to take control of our lives. By shifting our focus from external dependencies to internal empowerment, taking proactive steps, cultivating resilience, practicing gratitude, and surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals, we can create the life we desire. This journey requires courage and commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable. When we choose to act despite our circumstances, we unlock our potential, embrace new opportunities, and live a life rich with purpose and fulfillment. Ultimately, we realize that the power to change our lives resides within us, waiting to be unleashed. In conclusion, the journey to personal empowerment and fulfillment begins with the conscious decision to take control of our lives. By abandoning fear and doubt, letting go of the need for approval, releasing the burden of effort, stopping the habit of living in the past, and ceasing to wait for conditions to change, we pave the way for a more authentic and rewarding existence. Each of these steps invites us to embrace our true selves and recognize our inherent power to shape our reality. As we embark on this path of transformation, let us remember that the power to create change lies within us. We are not bound by our past, nor should we be hindered by external circumstances. Instead, we have the ability to cultivate a mindset of resilience, gratitude, and self-acceptance, which empowers us to act and seize the opportunities that life presents. Thank you for your time and attention. Together, let us commit to living boldly and authentically, forging ahead with confidence and a belief in our limitless potential. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a profound truth that we often overlook in our quest for success, happiness, and fulfillment. What you desire is already yours. You are not required to strive, struggle, or push against the current of life to achieve your dreams. Rather, you must understand the principle that all creation begins within you, is the creative force behind all manifestation. It is through the power of imagination that we give life to our desires, shape our realities, and experience the world we live in. What many fail to realize is that imagination is not a fleeting, idle activity confined to moments of daydreaming, but rather the very tool through which everything in your life takes form. When you truly grasp this, you begin to understand that your current reality is a reflection of the images, emotions, and beliefs you have entertained within your mind. It is not external circumstances or random chance that governs your life, but the visions you hold within yourself. You are continually imagining, consciously or unconsciously, and what you imagine persistently, you eventually experience. This is not a matter of chance or luck, it is a law. Consider for a moment the world around you. Every invention, structure, or concept that now exists was once nothing more than a thought in someone's mind. The chair you sit in, the phone you use, the clothes you wear, all were first imagined before they became material objects. The individual who conceived of them didn't wait for the world to give them permission or validation, they simply allowed their imagination to bring their vision to life. The same principle applies to every aspect of your personal experience. Most people, however, use their imagination against themselves. They imagine worst-case scenarios, they dwell on fears, doubts, and limitations. They picture outcomes where they fail, or where their desires remain out of reach. In doing so, they unknowingly perpetuate the very circumstances they wish to escape. What you focus on grows, and imagination is no exception. If you imagine lack, limitation, or defeat, your reality will be shaped accordingly. The key, then, is to harness the power of your imagination deliberately, to consciously direct it toward what you desire to experience. Instead of passively allowing your mind to wander into negative or limiting thoughts, begin to use your imagination constructively. The first step is clarity. You must clearly define what it is you want to experience. Be specific, vivid, and detailed in your vision. The clearer and more defined your mental picture, the easier it becomes for your imagination to bring it into form. Once you have this clear picture, the most important part is to feel as though it is already real. This is where imagination transcends mere fantasy and becomes a tool for manifestation. When you imagine something vividly, coupled with the feeling of its reality, you are impressing this image upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is real and what is imagined, will accept your imagined scenario as truth. From there, it begins to work tirelessly behind the scenes, influencing your thoughts, actions, and even the events and circumstances around you to bring this vision to life. The secret is to live in the end, to imagine yourself already in possession of your desire, and to feel the emotions that come with it. Imagine yourself living in the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement, or whatever emotions would naturally arise if your desire were already a reality. As you do this, you are impressing this state upon your subconscious, and it will begin to guide you toward its realization. Understand that your imagination is not bound by current circumstances. It transcends time and space. Even if what you desire seems impossible from your current vantage point, your imagination is capable of bridging the gap. Your task is not to figure out how your desire will come to pass, but simply to hold the vision and persist in the feeling of its reality. The rest will unfold naturally. Your imagination is your greatest ally. It is the creative force that shapes your destiny. The world around you is but a reflection of your inner world, and by mastering your imagination, you gain the ability to consciously shape the life you desire. The concept of effortless creation is one of the most liberating principles you can embrace. It stands in stark contrast to the common belief that success and fulfillment come only through struggle, hard work, and relentless effort. We are often conditioned to think that the harder we push, the more we can achieve. Yet true creation is not about force but alignment. The more we strain and push, the more we affirm that we are separate from what we desire. In reality, the act of creation is meant to be a natural, flowing process, one that unfolds effortlessly when we understand how to work with the laws of mind and spirit. At the heart of effortless creation is the understanding that everything begins within. What you seek already exists in potential, and it is your inner state, your imagination and belief, that determines whether it becomes your experience. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner world. This means that your desires do not require strenuous effort to bring them to pass. Rather, they require a shift in consciousness. The moment you can imagine your desire, believe in its reality, and feel it as though it is already true, you set in motion the process of its manifestation. Many people struggle because they are focused on the how of creation. They believe that they must control every step of the process, micromanage every detail, and work tirelessly to make things happen. This is where frustration sets in. But the truth is, you do not need to know how your desire will manifest. In fact, trying to figure it out only creates resistance. The universe, or the deeper intelligence within you, already knows the perfect way for your desire to unfold. Your role is simply to hold the vision, feel the reality of your desire, and trust that the path will reveal itself. Effortless creation is about alignment, not struggle. When you align yourself with the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, you naturally attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that will bring it into being. This process is much like planting a seed in fertile soil. Once the seed is planted, it doesn't need your constant attention or worry. The soil, sunlight, and water naturally allow it to grow. Your desire is like that seed. When planted in the fertile soil of your mind, it begins to take root and grow, often in ways you cannot predict or control. The key to effortless creation is to release the need for control and trust in the unseen forces at work. This doesn't mean inaction or passivity, but rather inspired action. When you are aligned with your desire, you will be naturally guided toward the actions that are necessary to bring it into form. These actions feel easy, intuitive, and inspired. They are not the result of forcing or pushing, but of flowing with the current of your desire. Another important aspect of effortless creation is the ability to let go of resistance. Resistance comes in the form of doubt, fear, and impatience. These emotions block the natural flow of creation. When you doubt your ability to create what you want, you create internal friction that prevents your desire from manifesting. Similarly, when you are impatient, you are subtly telling yourself that what you want is not here, which only perpetuates its absence. Practice the art of non-resistance. This means trusting the process and allowing your desire to come to you in its own perfect time and way. You can do this by maintaining a relaxed, confident state of mind, knowing that what you seek is already on its way to you. Effortless creation is rooted in the belief that life is supposed to work for you, that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. When you truly believe this, you release the need to struggle and instead allow life to bring you what you desire with ease. Effortless creation doesn't mean you won't take action, but it means that your action will be guided, easy, and filled with joy. You are not meant to struggle or fight for what you want. Your desires are meant to flow to you as naturally as water flows in a river. The less you resist, the more you allow, and the more you align with the powerful forces of creation that are always working behind the scenes. In the present, fulfillment is a powerful practice that can transform your entire experience of life. It involves a fundamental shift in the way you perceive time, desire, and achievement. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that happiness and success lie somewhere in the future, always just beyond our reach. We think that once we achieve a certain goal, acquire something we lack, or resolve an external situation, we will finally feel satisfied. But this mindset keeps us perpetually chasing after the next thing, never fully content in the moment. Living in the present fulfillment means embracing the truth that everything you desire is already available to you right now, in this very moment. To live in present fulfillment is to understand that your desires are not separate from you. They are not distant, nor are they something to be achieved later. Instead, they exist within you, and the key to experiencing them lies in embodying the feeling of having them already. But this shift in perspective can change how you approach life, as it releases you from the cycle of striving and replaces it with a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. When you no longer feel that you need to pursue happiness, success, or love, you allow those things to naturally come to you. The core of living in the present fulfillment is rooted in your imagination and emotions. What you imagine and feel as real in the present moment is what you will eventually experience in your outer world. If you continuously live in a state of wanting, longing, or needing something, you are affirming that you don't yet have it, and that is what you experience, a continued state of lack. But when you shift to feeling as though your desire is already fulfilled, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of having it. This change in vibration aligns you with the people, opportunities, and circumstances that match that state of fulfillment. To practice this, start by vividly imagining yourself as the person who has already achieved your desire. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I had what I wanted right now? Imagine in detail what your life would look like, how you would feel, and how you would act. The key is to immerse yourself in the emotions of fulfillment, rather than focusing on the lack of what you want. The more real and vivid this experience feels to you, the more your subconscious mind will accept it as your current reality. From this state, your external reality begins to shift and align with the internal state of fulfillment you've cultivated. In the present, fulfillment also frees you from the pressures of time. When you believe that your happiness or success is tied to a future event, you place yourself in a state of waiting. But the truth is that time is an illusion. The only moment that truly exists is the present. By living as though your desires are already fulfilled, you release the need to wait for some future outcome. Instead, you experience the joy, peace, and contentment of having it now, which paradoxically accelerates the manifestation of your desire in the physical world. Another profound benefit of living in the present fulfillment is that it keeps you grounded in the here and now. So often we miss out on the beauty and richness of the present moment because we are too focused on the future. We are constantly anticipating the next thing, the next achievement, the next goal. But when you live in a state of fulfillment, you become fully present in your life. You begin to appreciate the simple joys of each moment, the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of loved ones, the quiet stillness of a peaceful morning. You stop waiting for life to happen and start living it fully, right now. In the present, fulfillment also shifts your relationship with gratitude. Instead of being grateful only after you achieve something, you cultivate a sense of gratitude in advance. You give thanks for what you desire as though it's already yours, which further strengthens the feeling of fulfillment. This practice of gratitude in advance is a powerful way to signal to the universe that you are ready to receive your desire, and it helps to attract it into your life with greater ease. Living in the present fulfillment is about realizing that everything you seek is already within you. By embodying the feeling of your desires fulfilled in the now, you not only transform your inner world, but also set the stage for your outer reality to reflect that fulfillment. Instead of striving and struggling, you enter a state of flow, where life naturally brings to you everything you need, without effort or resistance. This is the true art of living from the inside out, where joy and fulfillment are not distant goals, but a present reality. Conscious assumption is one of the most powerful principles for transforming your life and bringing your desires into reality. It is based on the understanding that what you assume to be true about yourself and the world will be reflected in your experience. Unlike wishful thinking or mere daydreaming, conscious assumption is an active, deliberate process. It requires you to mentally and emotionally accept as true the state of being that you desire, even before it shows up in the physical world. This practice puts you in the driver's seat of your life, as it is your inner assumptions, not external circumstances, that create your reality. At its core, conscious assumption begins with a simple yet profound realization you are always assuming something about yourself. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, and every feeling you dwell in is an assumption. These assumptions form the foundation of your experience, for they act as the lens through which you perceive the world. If you assume lack, limitation, or failure, your life will mirror those assumptions. On the other hand, if you assume abundance, success, and fulfillment, your reality will align with those beliefs. The power of conscious assumption lies in the fact that your subconscious mind accepts as true whatever you consistently assume, regardless of whether it is factually true at the moment. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the dominant ideas you feed it. Therefore, by consciously assuming a desired state of being, you impress that state upon your subconscious, which in turn influences your thoughts, feelings, and actions to bring it into manifestation. To practice conscious assumption, you must first become aware of the beliefs you are currently holding. Often we operate on autopilot, unaware of the limiting assumptions that shape our lives. Begin by examining the areas of your life where you feel unfulfilled. Ask yourself, what am I assuming about myself in this area? For example, if you are struggling financially, You may be unconsciously assuming that money is hard to come by, that you are unworthy of wealth, or that financial success is for others but not for you. Identifying these assumptions is the first step toward changing them. Once you have identified the limiting assumptions, the next step is to consciously replace them with new, empowering assumptions. This is where imagination becomes your greatest tool. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the person who already has what you desire. If it's financial abundance, imagine yourself living a life of wealth and prosperity. See yourself handling money with ease, enjoying the freedom that comes with financial security, and feeling the emotions of gratitude and satisfaction. The key is to make the experience as vivid and real as possible. But the most important part of this process is not just the mental picture, but the emotional state. You must feel the reality of your assumption. It's not enough to think about your desire, you must feel as though it is already true. Emotions are the fuel that powers the creative process. And when you combine a clear mental image with the corresponding emotions, you are impressing your subconscious with the assumption that this is your reality. Over time, this new assumption will take root in your subconscious mind, and the outer world will begin to shift to reflect your new inner state. Conscious assumption also requires persistence. It's easy to fall back into old patterns of thinking, especially when the physical evidence of your new assumption has not yet appeared. But this is where true power lies, persisting in your new assumption, despite appearances to the contrary. You must remain loyal to your desired state, even when your current circumstances seem to contradict it. This persistence strengthens the new assumption and allows it to override the old, limiting beliefs. One of the most liberating aspects of conscious assumption is that it frees you from the need for external validation. You do not need anyone else to believe in your assumption, nor do you need confirmation from the outside world. Your inner conviction is enough. The moment you accept your desire as a present reality within your mind, you have taken the most important step toward its manifestation. The outer world will follow in due time, for it must conform to the reality you hold within. Inner transformation is the foundation of any lasting change in life. It is through the process of transforming ourselves from within that we can experience real and meaningful shifts in our external reality. Many people spend their lives trying to change the outer world, whether it's their circumstances, relationships, or financial situation, without realizing that true change must first occur on the inside. The outer world is simply a reflection of the inner world. As within, so without. When you transform your inner beliefs, thoughts, and emotions, the external world naturally aligns with that new state of being. At the heart of inner transformation is the recognition that you are not defined by your current circumstances. Many of us allow our outer experiences to dictate how we feel about ourselves and what we believe is possible. We look at the conditions of our lives and assume that they reflect some permanent truth about who we are. But the reality is that these conditions are merely the result of past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you want to change your outer reality, you must first change the mental and emotional patterns that have created it. Inner transformation begins with self-awareness. You must become aware of the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping your life. This requires a level of introspection and honesty that many people avoid. It's easier to blame external factors for our problems than to take responsibility for the beliefs we hold. But the first step to transformation is to identify the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Ask yourself, what stories am I telling myself about who I am? What do I believe is possible for me? Once you become aware of these limiting narratives, you can begin the process of changing them. The next step in inner transformation is the conscious choice to adopt new, empowering beliefs. This is where imagination and visualization come into play. Just as your current reality is the result of past thoughts and beliefs, your future reality will be shaped by the new mental pictures and assumptions you hold today. If you want to experience abundance, success, or happiness, you must first see yourself as the person who already possesses those qualities. You must mentally and emotionally step into the identity of the person you wish to become. Inner transformation is not just about thinking positive thoughts or repeating affirmations. It requires a deep shift in your emotional state. You must feel the emotions of your new reality as if it were already true. Emotions are the driving force behind manifestation, and when you align your emotions with your new beliefs, you accelerate the process of transformation. This means feeling the joy, gratitude, and fulfillment of your desires before they have manifested in the physical world. As you do this, you begin to rewire your subconscious mind, which in turn influences your actions, decisions, and perceptions. Inner transformation is also a process of letting go. You must be willing to release the old patterns, habits, and identities that no longer serve you. Transformation often requires you to step into the unknown, to leave behind the familiar comfort of your current life and embrace a new way of being. This can be uncomfortable at times, but it is necessary for growth. The more you let go of who you were, the more space you create for the person you are becoming. Inner transformation is the key to experiencing real and lasting change. It is the process of aligning your inner world with the reality you want to create. When you shift your beliefs, emotions, and identity, the outer world must follow suit. True power lies in understanding that the changes you seek in life begin with a change within yourself. As you transform internally, the world around you will inevitably reflect that transformation, bringing you the success, fulfillment, and happiness you desire. In the unseen is a profound principle that underlies the very nature of creation and transformation. It requires trusting in forces that are invisible to the physical senses, but are nonetheless powerful and real. This kind of faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, but a deep inner knowing that what you desire, what you have imagined, and what you feel as real in your heart and mind will manifest, even if there is no immediate evidence in the physical world. It is the understanding that the unseen realm of thought and imagination is the birthplace of all that becomes tangible in life. To have faith in the unseen is to recognize that everything begins with an idea, a thought, or a feeling. Nothing exists in the physical world that did not first exist in the invisible realm of the mind. Every invention, every structure, every work of art, and even every relationship first existed as an unseen possibility in someone's imagination before it became a physical reality. This process is governed by natural laws, just like the law of gravity, and it operates whether we are aware of it or not. The challenge for most people is learning to trust in the unseen, especially when the outer world appears to contradict their desires. In the unseen requires a shift in perspective. Most people are conditioned to base their beliefs on what they can see, hear, touch, and measure. They look to the external world for proof, and when they don't see evidence of what they desire, they lose hope or give up. But this approach is backward. The outer world is a reflection of inner consciousness. It is the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions you hold internally that shape your external reality. Therefore, you must cultivate the ability to believe in your vision, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. One of the most important aspects of faith in the unseen is understanding the role of imagination. Imagination is not a mere escape from reality, but a powerful tool for creation. When you imagine something vividly and feel it as though it is already true, you are planting a seed in the unseen realm. Just like a seed planted in the soil, it takes time for that seed to grow and become visible. The key is to remain patient and steadfast in your faith, knowing that just because you can't see the seed growing doesn't mean it isn't. You must continue to nourish it with your belief and feeling, trusting that it will eventually break through the surface and become part of your physical reality. Faith in the unseen also involves letting go of the need for control. You don't need to know how your desire will come to pass. In fact, trying to figure out all the details can create resistance. The universe, or the deeper intelligence within you, knows the perfect way to bring your desires into being. Your job is to hold the vision, feel the reality of your desire, and trust that the unseen forces are working on your behalf. The how is not your concern, the what and the feeling of already having it are your primary focus. Another essential aspect of faith in the unseen is persistence. You must persist in your belief, even when the outer world shows no signs of change. This is where many people falter. They become discouraged when their circumstances don't immediately reflect their desires, and they begin to doubt or revert to old, limiting beliefs. But faith is the ability to hold on to your vision even in the face of apparent failure or delay. You must remain loyal to the unseen reality you are creating, knowing that it will eventually be realized in the physical world if you do not waver. Faith in the unseen is the foundation of conscious creation. It is the understanding that the invisible realm of thought, belief, and imagination is the true source of everything you experience in the physical world. By trusting in this unseen power, persisting in your vision, and aligning your emotions with your desired outcome, you activate the creative forces that will bring your desires into being. This faith allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that the outer world will eventually reflect the inner reality you have cultivated. In conclusion, everything we desire in life begins within us. Whether through imagination, effortless creation, living in present fulfillment, or having faith in the unseen, we hold the power to shape our reality by transforming our inner world. The external world is merely a reflection of our beliefs, assumptions, and emotions. By aligning ourselves with the feeling of our desires already fulfilled, we can bring them into being with ease. Trust the process, remain steadfast in your faith, and allow life to flow to you naturally. Thank you for listening. We gather here today to recognize a profound truth, one that has the power to change the course of your life. The restoration you seek is not something distant or outside of you, it is already within, waiting to be claimed. In this moment, let us step into that power and uncover the secret of a powerful prayer for restoration. It is the doorway to everything you desire. It is the silent force that shapes your reality, even when you are unaware of it. Whether you realize it or not, every moment of your life is governed by the images and emotions you hold in your mind. When you begin to consciously use this power, you unlock a potential that can transform every area of your life, including those places where you seek restoration. To restore something, a relationship, a sense of peace, financial stability, or even your health, means to bring it back to its original or intended state. But restoration does not happen through hard effort, worry, or endless action. Instead, it begins in the realm of imagination. Before anything can change outwardly, it must first change within. What you hold as true in your mind will eventually manifest in your outer world, and this is where the power of imagination becomes essential. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. The artist does not merely wait for a picture to appear, they deliberately paint the image they wish to see. In the same way, your life is like a canvas, and your imagination is the brush that fills it with color and form. If you are waiting for things to change without actively shaping the image in your mind, then you are leaving the canvas empty. Nothing can be restored until you first create the picture of what you desire. Most people live reactively. They see what is happening in their world and respond to it, often with fear, doubt, or frustration. They allow their circumstances to dictate how they feel, and in doing so, they keep recreating the same experiences. If you are constantly focused on what is broken or missing, your imagination will continue to reproduce more of the same. But if you can shift your focus away from the problem and instead imagine the solution, you set in motion a powerful force of restoration. This is not about pretending or daydreaming aimlessly. It is about using your imagination deliberately and with intention. The process begins by asking yourself, what would my life look like if the restoration I seek has already occurred? What would I see, hear, or feel? For example, if you are seeking restoration in a relationship, close your eyes and imagine that relationship healed and whole. Picture the conversations you would have, the harmony between you, the joy of being together. Feel it as if it were happening now. The key is to feel it deeply. Imagination, combined with feeling, is the secret ingredient that makes restoration possible. Your subconscious mind, which governs much of your experience, responds to emotion far more than to logic. When you combine a clear mental image with the feeling that it is already true, you impress that reality upon your subconscious. Once this happens, your subconscious mind begins to work behind the scenes to bring about circumstances that align with the image you have created. This is the magic of imagination. It does not simply wish for change, it commands it. Your external world must conform to the picture you hold in your inner world. The more vividly and consistently you imagine the restoration you seek, the faster it will come to pass. The process requires faith. You must believe in the power of your imagination, even if you cannot yet see the results. Just as a seed takes time to grow after being planted, your imagined reality needs time to take root. Trust the process. Continue to hold the vision in your mind, regardless of what your current circumstances may show. The universe or the unseen forces of creation will rearrange everything to align with the image you have impressed upon it. Restoration is not a distant possibility. It is within your reach, and the key to unlocking it is already in your hands. That key is your imagination. Use it wisely and watch your life transform. The power to shape your life lies not in the words you speak or the actions you take, but in how you feel. Feeling is the silent force that moves the unseen to become seen, the intangible to become real. It is the bridge between your inner world and the outer reality that unfolds before you. While thoughts are important, it is your feelings that give life to those thoughts, turning mere ideas into lived experiences. This is why feeling is the secret to manifesting any desire, especially when it comes to restoration. At the core of every prayer, every wish, and every desire lies the need to feel a certain way. When you ask for something, a new opportunity, health, peace, or love, it's not the physical thing you are truly after. What you really seek is the feeling that accompanies having it. You want the security that comes with financial abundance, the joy of being in a loving relationship, the vitality of a healthy body. These feelings are what you are truly striving for, and they are also the key to bringing those very things into your life. When you think of something you desire, but you feel doubt or worry, those negative emotions are stronger than the desire itself. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to how you feel about what you want. If you are constantly feeling anxious, fearful, or desperate, you are inadvertently creating more of those conditions, even if your mind is filled with positive thoughts. It's not enough to merely think good things, you must feel them deeply, as if they are already true. The process is simple but profound. First, identify what it is you wish to restore or create in your life. Then, ask yourself, how would I feel if this were already mine? Close your eyes and immerse yourself in that feeling. Imagine what it would be like to live from that state. If you are seeking restoration in a broken relationship, for instance, feel the love, harmony, and forgiveness as if they are already present. If you desire financial restoration, feel the relief and security of abundance, even if your current situation shows lack. This feeling must be strong and unwavering. You must not allow external circumstances to dictate how you feel. Instead, you choose to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, regardless of what appears in your outer world. When you do this, you align yourself with the frequency of that desired outcome. Just as a radio must be tuned to a specific station to hear a certain broadcast, you must tune your emotions to the frequency of what you want to experience. The power of feeling is often misunderstood because we are taught to rely heavily on logic and reasoning. But logic alone cannot create the life you desire. Feeling is what activates the creative process, calling forth the reality that aligns with your inner emotional state. The subconscious mind, which controls much of your experience, is not moved by logic, it responds to the depth of your feelings. When you feel as though your prayer has already been answered, you impress that reality upon your subconscious, which then works to bring it into being. This is why feeling is the secret. It is the key that unlocks the door to the life you desire. You cannot wait for the outer world to change before you allow yourself to feel good. Instead, you must feel good now, in the present moment, as though everything you seek has already been accomplished. In doing so, you shift the entire course of your reality. Feelings are the language of the universe. They communicate your desires in a way that thoughts alone cannot. When your feelings match the vibration of your desires, The universe has no choice but to bring them into your experience. So practice feeling the joy, peace, love, and abundance that you seek. Make it a daily habit to dwell in those feelings, and you will find that your world transforms in ways you never thought possible. And the secret to all manifestation is simple: feel it as though it is already done, and it will be. The journey from lack to abundance begins not with external change, but with a shift in your inner consciousness. To move from a state of scarcity to one of abundance, you must first understand that your external reality is a reflection of your internal state. Many people mistakenly believe that their feelings of lack are caused by their circumstances, their financial situation, relationships, or health. But the truth is, these external conditions are simply a mirror of the thoughts and emotions they hold within. When you constantly focus on what you don't have, you only reinforce that sense of lack. Conversely, when you shift your focus to what you do have, and to the abundance that already exists within you, your external world begins to align with that new mindset. The key to making this shift lies in awareness. Begin by observing your thoughts and the language you use throughout the day. Are you constantly thinking about what's missing from your life? Are you focusing on your debts, your struggles, or your frustrations? Every time you think or speak from a place of lack, you are unknowingly creating more of it. The mind, and by extension the universe, is incredibly responsive to your dominant thoughts and feelings. If you continually tell yourself that there is not enough, that you are not enough, you perpetuate that experience. To break this cycle, you must first recognize that abundance is not something you must attain. It is already present, waiting to be acknowledged. It may seem paradoxical, especially when you are faced with challenging circumstances, but the principle is simple: what you focus on expands. If you want to experience abundance, you must focus on abundance, even in the smallest forms. This doesn't mean denying your current reality, but rather choosing to redirect your attention to the things in your life that are going right, to the aspects where you already feel abundant. Start by cultivating a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool that shifts your focus away from what is lacking and toward the good that is already present. No matter how difficult your situation may seem, there are always things to be grateful for. It could be as simple as the air you breathe, the food on your table, or the love of a friend or family member. When you consciously make a habit of appreciating these things, you invite more reasons to feel grateful. This is the law of attraction in action. Like attracts like. The more you focus on the abundance in your life, the more you will attract experiences that reflect that abundance. Another crucial aspect of shifting from lack to abundance is changing your self-concept. Many people operate under the unconscious belief that they are not worthy of abundance. They see themselves as limited, undeserving, or somehow lacking in the qualities that would allow them to experience prosperity. These beliefs are often formed in early life and can become deeply ingrained in the subconscious mind. To shift out of this mindset, you must consciously affirm your worthiness. You are a unique expression of the universe, and abundance is your natural birthright. Begin to see yourself as someone who is deserving of all the good things life has to offer. Change the narrative you tell yourself, and your outer reality will begin to change as well. Visualization is another powerful tool in this process. Take a few moments each day to imagine yourself living in abundance. Visualize the life you desire, but more importantly, feel the emotions associated with having that life. What would it feel like to be financially secure, to have fulfilling relationships, or to experience perfect health? Let those feelings fill your body and mind. When you consistently imagine and feel yourself living in abundance, you impress that reality upon your subconscious, and over time your external circumstances will begin to reflect that inner state. Let go of any resistance to abundance. Often people hold on to lack because it feels familiar or because they fear change. Release any attachment to your current circumstances, knowing that abundance is your natural state. Trust that the universe is always moving you toward greater abundance when you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with that truth. The shift from lack to abundance is an inner transformation. By focusing on gratitude, changing your self-concept, visualizing abundance, and letting go of resistance, you can move from a mindset of scarcity to one of prosperity. Abundance is not something outside of you, it is already within, waiting to be realized. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for restoration, yet it is often misunderstood or overlooked. Many people think of forgiveness as something they do for others, a way to absolve someone of their wrongdoings. But in reality, forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. It is the key to restoring not just relationships, but also your own peace of mind, emotional well-being, and even physical health. When you forgive, you are not just releasing another person from blame or guilt, you are freeing yourself from the heavy burden of resentment and anger. Restoration begins the moment you decide to let go of the past and embrace the freedom that comes with forgiveness. At its core, forgiveness is about breaking the chains that bind you to past hurts. Holding on to grudges or harboring ill feelings towards someone who has wronged you keeps you trapped in a cycle of pain and negativity. It consumes your energy and clouds your thoughts, making it difficult to move forward. When you refuse to forgive, you allow the past to dictate your present and your future. You carry the weight of that hurt with you, and it becomes a barrier to the peace and restoration you seek. Restore yourself, you must let go of the idea that forgiveness is about condoning the other person's actions or pretending that the hurt didn't happen. Forgiveness does not mean excusing bad behavior or allowing others to walk over you. Instead, it is about releasing your attachment to the pain. It is about choosing to no longer let the actions of others control your emotions or your sense of well-being. When you forgive, you take back your power. Forgiveness is also essential for restoring relationships. Whether it's with a family member, a friend, or even yourself, no relationship can be fully healed until forgiveness is granted. It is the foundation upon which trust, love, and understanding can be rebuilt. Without forgiveness, there is always a barrier, a distance that cannot be crossed. But once forgiveness is extended, the door to restoration swings open wide. It allows for honest communication, the rebuilding of trust, and the possibility of a renewed connection. Yet forgiveness is not always easy. Many people struggle with it because they believe that holding on to anger or resentment somehow protects them from being hurt again. In reality, holding on to these emotions only deepens the wound. It creates a state of inner turmoil that can manifest in various ways: stress, anxiety, bitterness, or even physical illness. The stress caused by unforgiveness affects not only your emotional and mental state, but can also have tangible impacts on your physical health, causing ailments such as high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and chronic pain. True restoration, therefore, begins by healing from within, and that healing can only happen through forgiveness. It is also important to understand that forgiveness is not just about others, it is often about forgiving yourself. Many people carry deep guilt or shame for mistakes they've made, holding themselves to an impossible standard of perfection. This self-condemnation keeps them trapped in a cycle of regret and self-punishment. But self-forgiveness is just as crucial as forgiving others. You cannot restore your life or move forward while you are still punishing yourself for past actions. Recognize that you are human, capable of mistakes, but also capable of growth and transformation. When you forgive yourself, you release the weight of guilt and open the door to personal restoration. To begin the process of forgiveness, you must first make the decision to let go. It doesn't mean that the hurt disappears instantly, but the willingness to forgive sets the intention for healing. Start by acknowledging your pain, then consciously choose to release it. Visualize yourself freeing that hurt from your heart, letting it go like a heavy stone falling into a river, being carried away by the current. In its place, feel the lightness and peace that forgiveness brings. Over time, this practice will help you to fully embrace restoration. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It is a profound act of self-love and self-care. Through forgiveness, you restore not only your relationships but also your own heart and soul. You create space for peace, love, and joy to enter your life once again. And in doing so, you open the door to true restoration. There is a profound power in silence, a power that allows us to tap into the deepest parts of our being and connect with the invisible forces that shape our lives. Resting in the silence of knowing is not about inactivity or withdrawal from life, but about entering a state of trust and surrender, where you allow things to unfold naturally, without force or strain. In this silence, you align with the flow of the universe, confident that what you desire is already on its way, and that all is working out for your highest good. When we set an intention, whether it's a desire for restoration, healing, success, or love, the human tendency is often to become overly fixated on how and when it will happen. We get caught in the trap of doubt, impatience, and anxiety, constantly questioning whether our efforts will yield results. But this restlessness is counterproductive. True manifestation, true restoration, comes not from striving and worrying, but from resting in a deep, quiet knowing that it is already done. This knowing is a calm inner assurance that transcends logic and circumstance, a feeling that everything is working out perfectly, even if the path is not yet visible. The essence of this practice lies in trust. Trust that the universe is always moving in your favor, even when you can't see it. Trust that the seeds you've planted, whether through prayer, visualization, or intention, are growing, even when they seem buried in the soil. This is where silence plays a critical role. It's in silence that we can hear the subtle voice of intuition, the quiet guidance that comes from within, pointing us toward the next step or simply assuring us that we're on the right path. In this state of silence, you stop resisting and fighting against the natural flow of life. Resistance creates tension, and tension blocks the very things you are trying to attract. By resting in silence, you release the need to control every outcome, understanding that there are forces at play far greater than your conscious mind can grasp. It is in this letting go that the real magic happens. When you stop pushing, you make room for the universe to work through you. You allow the process of creation and restoration to unfold as it is meant to. Resting in the silence of knowing is also about inner peace. When you enter this space, you detach from the chaos of the outer world and the constant stream of thoughts that often cause stress and confusion. You return to a place of stillness, where there is no need to rush, no need to panic. Here, in this stillness, you reconnect with the truth of who you are, a being of infinite potential, connected to an all-powerful source that knows no limits. It is in this state that you become a magnet for the very things you seek, because you are no longer vibrating at the frequency of lack or desperation, but at the frequency of calm assurance. This silence is not empty. It is filled with presence. It is the space where faith resides, where your desires are nurtured in the invisible realm before they manifest in the physical world. It's where you allow yourself to feel that your prayer has been answered, even if the evidence hasn't yet appeared. The power of silence lies in the fact that it bypasses the noise of doubt and fear, allowing you to feel a deep connection to the outcome you've imagined. There is also a surrender involved in this process. Surrender is not about giving up on your desires, but about releasing the need to control the outcome or the timing. It is a recognition that the universe knows the best way to bring your desire into being, and your job is simply to align with that flow. When you rest in the silence of knowing, you are telling the universe, I trust you. I know you are working on my behalf. This is where true power lies. It is not in forcing things to happen, but in allowing them to happen naturally. It is in this stillness, this silence, that you come to understand that everything is already in motion, and all you need to do is stay aligned with that knowing. Resting in silence is the ultimate act of faith, and it is in that faith that restoration and manifestation unfold effortlessly. In conclusion, the power to transform your life, restore what has been lost, and manifest your desires lies within you. Whether through imagination, feeling, forgiveness, or resting in the silence of knowing, the key is always the same: align your inner world with the outcome you seek, trust the process, and allow the universe to do its work. True restoration and fulfillment don't come from forcing or striving, but from a deep sense of faith, surrender, and deliberate inner focus. As you practice these principles, you'll find that the external world naturally follows suit, bringing you the peace, abundance, and joy you desire. Thank you for your time and for opening your heart to these timeless truths.